Hello, hello, hello. It's your friend Kevin, and this is your vibe of the day. All right, let's get right to the cards with a special message from the goddess Green Tara, a supreme protection. So, what does this have to do with today of all days? What does supreme protection mean? Supreme protection means that no matter what you do, no matter what you've done, no matter what your past is, no matter what you believe your karma is, those cords have been cut and you're free to move forward. So, who is Green Tara and what is she about? Well, this comes from the wonderful deck of Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray with these wonderful images by Lily Moses. That image on the front is, oh my goodness, I forgot. Hang on one second. I'll get the Violet Flame. There you go. So there are many deities, gods, demigods, supreme beings, ascended masters that earth folks worship through their various religious beliefs. Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Christianity, Judaism, all of them. And I believe we're at the point in our existence, many of us who are on this, following light, following worship, following prayer, following just really being all that is love and all that is kindness. We're somewhat non-denominational. I'm non-denominational. Yes, I was raised Christian and went to Sunday school and did all of the things that I would imagine most children do when they're introduced to a religious practice. My religious practice during my teenage years turned to more of a spiritual practice, although I really didn't realize that until later. It was one of those morphings that happened, basically because of the questioning. And then in my later life, 20s into 30s, I began to research and do more about spirit world and what spirit is. So with all of those energies, we are open to what this would be, what Green Tara and others represents a supreme being, supreme protection. So I'm going to read to you from the guidebook what or who or how Green Tara came into being. So the legend is the Avalokitesvara, it's spelled Avalokitesvara, Avalokitesvara, the personification of perfect compassion. This personification, God, was looking down upon the earth and cried tears when he witnessed the suffering in the world. When the tears hit the earth, a lotus formed from which Tara, goddess of compassion and light, was born. She has many forms based on the different colours, and we've chosen green, Lily Moses and Kyle Gray, in this oracle deck because she brings a light of protection and safety, always compassionate and loving, and she helps us move into a new state of being and doing. So the message here through this card is you're safe and the spiritual protection is all around you. The worst that you perceive as happening is behind you, which means you're ready to move on, move beyond whatever challenges and limitations that you set out for yourself or that got set out for you. And all the cords are being cut from your past, what you've known before. You can feel energetic, clear, and aware that that's all done. There's a tendency with all of us to be fearful of the past recreating itself. They're not going to be recreated. They're done. They're gone. So acknowledge the fact that you've moved past it and leave it all in your past. Let it all go. So that you can step into a place of spiritual, personal freedom and space. The green Tara puts a force field of complete love, acceptance all around us. The message is to remind us that we no longer need to build up walls around our heart, that it's safe to trust what we feel, and more importantly, it's safe to trust who's in our life. That's coming up a lot. As we've sifted and sorted through various opinions, various reports, various things, because of our human habit, because of our human nature, I believe myself, I don't expect you to believe what I believe because we're very different. And I like that we're different. I like that other people have an opinion or they have an idea. And we've sort of moved through this energy of being super sensitive to what other people feel and believe. It's a good thing, but it comes with a little bit of a bumpy road. The bumpy road of we have to be really mindful of those who are marginalized, those who are discriminated against, those who are pushed and shoved and bullied, folks of color, folks who have different preferences, whether it's sexual or non-sexual, those who choose not to associate with a gender. We had to go through this bumpy road of making sure that we weren't slighting them, making sure that we weren't making them part of stand-up comic acts. These are things that to those folks who feel that way and are that way, they feel put upon, they feel slighted. And it's human to do it. It's human to see it. It's human to be drawn to it. And, you know, I would say myself, I've been guilty of it. Guilty of perhaps looking at things in a way that I now know I shouldn't. That's where you learn to step beyond the limits and those feelings. Because in essence, when we're quiet, when we don't have distractions, when we've got nobody watching us, we do get those feelings of perhaps the behaviors that we have exhibited before aren't quite what they should be. That in that moment, in the awareness of, okay, I've done something that I'm not particularly proud of. I've said things I'm not particularly fond of saying, and I've behaved in a way that I'm not particularly happy with. In those moments of that feeling, you can then know that the forgiveness has happened through the experience of recognizing it was a misstep. The missteps come from what's learned, what's followed, and what's believed. And, oh, okay, we're watching how things make other people feel and wanting that feeling, so we repeat it, mimic it, and follow it. I think, in a way, it's how bullies win. It's how bullies get other folks to follow them by becoming that demonstrative person who's going to persecute other people. And bullies absolutely have to have followers. Now we're at the point where we're protected. We don't need followers because now we have this love and this compassion, this acceptance. But it comes at a place where we have to sort of meander through and dance around the bumpiness. And the bumpiness is bumping up against someone who doesn't quite feel or believe, or perhaps wants to criticize, or maybe wants to point fingers or blame. When you look at the message that Green Tara says, and others, the protection comes from acknowledging how somebody feels, believes, and what they think. I don't know about respecting it, because it's really against the grain, and it really is unkind, and it really is not good. I can't respect it. So I am fully in my own power by saying and suggesting, I don't know that that's the right thing. But me, myself, and I had to get there. It wasn't something that I just turned the light switch on and said, "Oh, I'm going." It is part of what's hardwired underneath. But I had to get through the feelings and the understandings of the things that I hadn't done quite right. Even in my own behavior, even in the idea that I had to have certain things be a certain way, behave a certain way, dress a certain way in order to be accepted. That was a lesson. Now, as a culture on a global scale, we are moving more into an accepted way of being. But we had to get to that point of pulling apart and undoing all of the limitations that had happened before. And that's rapid. If you think about how long it took to construct all that and how quickly it's coming apart, you begin to start to feel that lift and that lightness and that freedom. I'm constantly awed by how there's this somewhat complaint, if you will. I don't really watch mainstream news. It brings me down. I don't. It's hard. I think I realize I'm pretty sensitive, and I'm sensitive to that sort of information. It's not that I'm. One person said, "Well, you're out of touch." With what? That's what I felt like saying, didn't say it. I just ignored it and retreated and did what I always do when someone's being a bit of a bully, kind of go inward. I go within so I can't go without. What I realize is that being light, being sensitive, being soft, being kind, being all of these things that are occurring means I'm super sensitive to the sort of ratchetness of the world. Does that make me hippy dippy? Oh yeah, I've probably got the card carrying it around somewhere and the t-shirt. Have I always been open to that? No. It was something that would have been considered, yeah, no, you're out there with the fairies. Now I'm like, yeah, and that's all good. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. But just know that whatever bumpy ride you're going through, have been through, that you can trust what you believe, you can trust what you feel, you can trust that whatever's going forward is okay. And if you find yourself at a place where things aren't working out, you'll instantly know this is not right and move on to the next thing. Being protected in that place of this doesn't feel right and move on. Let's read from our book, Melody Beatty. Journey to the Heart. We are on the 25th of November 2021, which today happens to be Thanksgiving Day. So for those that are tuned in on today or whenever, happy Thanksgiving, but keep that Thanksgiving, that giving of thanks and appreciation going every day. Make today a day of healing. Take time for healing. Take time for doing what soothes your body, your mind, your soul. Take a bath, light a candle, read a book, take a walk. Get a message. See your favorite healer. See a movie. Buy some flowers. Drink a cup of tea. Sometimes we talk ourselves out of doing something. We're too busy, too tired. But that is when we most need to take care of ourselves. Listen to your heart. What does it want? Listen to your body. What does it need? Trust what you hear. Make today a healing day. Then take some time. Make every day a healing day. Make every day a healing day. Every day a healing day. Maybe start off with an affirmation. What do I need to heal today? What does not feel quite right? And it could be deep rest. We're going into our winter solstice coming up in a few weeks, which is where the entire year that we've been through goes bye-bye. The leaves are off the trees. The animals are retreating, hibernating, going under the ground. Yesterday I was in awe. I got home and there were all these holes in my backyard, and I thought, well, what in the world are the dogs digging for? Because the animals that are hibernating under the ground, and my dogs can smell them, and they're wanting to know what they're doing under there. Anyway, I digress. Listen, have yourself a great day. Until next time, lots of love. Bye.